This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monty Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
And I am Jason Hoover, sitting in for the one and only Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
You can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Well, how's it going, Monty?
Jason, good to see you here, man. Once again, you're filling those shoes of Miss Carey Ann Cyr. We want to give Carey Ann a shout out. She's out of town right now. But all our real estate friends, you've got to know who the best mortgage professional in town is. That's Carey Ann at CMG Financial. Please reach out to her. Look, it took me years. I've been doing this for 37 years. I'll never forget the first 3 deals that I had. I gave to somebody who provided me the best donuts. Jason, can you believe that? And I didn't know that you looked for more than that. So then I found out all 3 deals died, and I realized in a quick manner that, oh my gosh, I got to put the criteria of who I use for financing way ahead of what I might like to eat. So anyway, in the meantime, I've learned a lot, and now I'm very, very, very careful who we endorse, and Carey Ann is the best. But look, we have a guest today. Mr. One and Only, Sam Ghali. Sam, good to have you with us, sir.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
We're going to get into Sam's story, but before we do that, we're going to, and Sam's got a great story. I mean, you've been licensed for how long now, Sam? 9 months?
9 or 10 months, yeah.
I mean, it was the first part of this year, and you got an amazing mentor. I remember his name. I think it was the famous Jason Hoover, wasn't it?
Jameis Hoomer.
Jameis Hoomer.
All right.
Alias is Jameis Hoomer. It's really Jason Hoover. But let's talk about our sponsor first of all. Okay, Shall we do that?
Let's do it. Music City Removal is the #1 junk removal service in Nashville. From residential, commercial, and construction, they're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute.
And we're missing our cutie pie today, Miss Carey Ann Cyr. But anyhow, shout out to Carey Ann. We love that lady. She's an awesome lady. So anyway, getting back to our friend here, Sam Ghali. Sam, I have a conviction, okay?
What's that?
The conviction is this. Before the message ever matters that somebody might be able to share, they have to believe the messenger. People have to believe the messenger before the message matters, is what I'm saying, okay? Yeah. So what I'd like to do is, before you tell us about how in the world does somebody go from zero, not selling professionally as homes as a real estate professional, into 25 closings in your first 9 months in business? Before we get into that part, because that's really why I wanted to bring you on here, because there's more newer agents in the industry than there are older agents probably anymore, and sometimes people are so close to gold and they fall out because they get weary in well-doing. They get tired. It's not an easy industry. They got in with unrealistic expectations. They didn't have the foundations that Jason helps people establish in their career. So let's talk about you. You've been in this country now for
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not your country of origin. You're from Egypt, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's tell us about your story. Okay. I'm really interested in hearing more.
I came here. I was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. I came through a school program. It was a J1 visa. Mm-hmm. It was like a summer program, and it was always a dream, to come here and, live in the States. And when I had the opportunity, I jumped on it, and came here.
Now, did you come as a young man by yourself, or
By
did
myself,
you by
yes.
yourself? Wow, your
At
family.
18.
Holy
That's
cow.
amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a big jump, man.
Yeah, my family didn't want me to come by myself, you know,
Sure.
because I'm the only son back home. It's just me and my sister, you know, and it was kind of tough for them to let me go.
Oh, I bet.
We agreed that I was only going if I was coming back. So
Okay.
and then I came here, and I'm just gonna.
Now, did you speak
Stay.
fluent English at that time?
Just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, did you know anybody here? Or
No.
well, yeah. See, I've got kids, and
Right.
they said, "Hey, I'm moving cross seas."
Yeah.
I would be like your parents, like, "No, you're not."
No, you're
Where
not.
are you going?
Yeah. And why Nashville? Why Nashville?
And you'll
Well-
be back at 10 p.m. tonight, right?
yeah, exactly.
So I came, and the first, that program that I came through was we were at Mobile, Alabama, for the time of the program, which it was like 4 months, and then we moved from there to Nashville because we know some people here, or Nashville has the biggest Egyptian population in the U.S. So
Wow.
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Well, one of the biggest, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So comparing
Interesting.
05 to now, and maybe back then it was like 100 families, probably less, and now we're growing over 60,000.
Over 60,000 Egyptian
Nashville.
families.
Nashville and the surrounding
Holy
area,
cow.
or the greater Nashville area.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome. We're very, very proud of our Egyptian folks that work at Realty One Group. I'm very, very proud.
Thank you.
You guys have come with a conviction, a work ethic, and a conviction to really honor the efforts that you put into life and serving others and so forth. So tell us about. Now, you were successful as you were a successful businessman before you ever got into real estate. Before you and I ever met.
Right.
You shared a little bit of your story with Connie. I don't think I've gotten to hear about it, but I was really impressed with what she shared. Do you mind sharing more than that?
Yeah, sure. So when I moved to Nashville, at 18, I started working, like couple jobs, restaurants, gas stations, and I was more into the gas station business back then. And I worked for like a year, and then I bought my own business at the end of being 18 years old. Yeah. I saved up. I was working like 90 hours, almost 100 hours a week.
Wow.
Saving up, and then me and a few other friends, we put our money together and bought the first store,
The first gas station.
first gas station. And you know how it is when you have like partners in business. So I ended up buying all of them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what part of Nashville? What part of Nashville? I'm sorry. What part of Nashville was first? What part of
Jackson,
Middleton?
Tennessee.
Jackson, Tennessee.
Yep. That was my first one. Yep. Still
Okay.
have it.
How many do you have now?
4.
Okay.
Yep.
So you have 4 gas stations. And how old are you now? 33?
30. Just turned 33. Yes. Yep.
That's incredible. So you have 4 gas stations, and you're one of the top producers in Middle Tennessee real estate.
So at 18, when we first, it's a franchise. It's a raceway.
Okay.
I was the youngest franchisee in the company.
Wow, I
back
bet you
then.
were.
Yep.
So you have the one across. You have the one by the airport.
Airport,
on Donaldson.
Yep.
Yes, I love that. gas
So the
station.
one in Jackson, that's the one right off of 40?
No, the south one.
Okay.
Yeah, on the south side, on 18 and 45.
Okay.
That's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was my first one. Still so special to
Yeah.
me. you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, you're
I build up, all the others,
Yeah.
from that one, to be honest. Yeah. So
That's remarkable that a young man at 18 can get into business at that level. Now, do your folks still live in Egypt, or do they live here?
yeah, they're still in Egypt.
Okay.
Yep. My mom. So my dad passed away at 2017.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was one of the hardest thing, because I wanted them to come here and
Sure.
live with us here for a little bit, but we couldn't get it to happen. So
Well, I'm sorry, but I know that he was very
Yeah.
proud of you.
Thank you.
He had to.
Yeah.
He had to have been just very, very proud.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, when did you get your real estate license?
I started working on it at the end of 19, around November. So I first got it in January.
Okay. What inspired you for that?
I was actually the main one of the reasons, you know, I found, you know, I always had a passion for real estate. Even I'm still, you know, I was living here in the States. I was buying properties, you know, in Egypt and all that. So I've always had, you know, a good passion for real estate, you know, and I was flipping houses in the same time.
Right. And you still do that, right?
Yeah.
Flipping houses here or in Egypt?
No, here in Nashville and a surrounded area.
It's pretty broad range there.
I know. Yeah. Well, see, you know, one of the things, we only buy there, we don't sell.
Okay.
So and that's how, you know, like the traditions there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So let me ask you this. One thing that I love is, so you have multiple businesses.
Yeah.
And in less than a year's time, you have come on and sold at 26
Today
homes.
was 26.
Today's 26.
Well, yesterday.
Yesterday, I'm sorry.
All right.
So 26 homes in less than a year.
Yep.
And one of the things that we hear so often from agents is, you know, I don't have time. I don't have time. I mean, they're not doing anything else. Yeah. How do you have time? And you're successful in every business that you have.
Yes. Thank you. So in this kind of business, it's all about managing the time. You know, if you just,
which is an art of itself.
Yes. It's all about managing, you know, you gotta put a schedule, you know, you cannot delay and say, hey, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. You know, if it's the time for it today, you got to do it today. You know. Now,
do you have help?
As far as,
do you have help? You know, like as like closings or.
I've so far the 25 or the 26 transaction that I did, it was all on me by myself. Wow. Yes.
Do you hate yourself for doing that?
Honestly, lately I was like, no, I gotta find something. You know, right. I gotta have some help because it's a big load.
That's a big load, brother. Yes. If you didn't have 4 businesses you were running as well,
I might be able to pull it through.
That might keep you a little bit distracted.
Yep.
I'm sure you have good help at the stores.
At the stores, yes, I really do. I have a great team, great guys. You know, that we're like family. So.
Right.
That is 2 houses a month, roughly, right? 2 deals a month?
More than that. Less than I mean, because it was March.
March, yeah.
March, you got started.
So less than a year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
So about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's been at my level. Okay, just for the record, not boasting here, except for you.
Right.
You know, I've sold 3 homes a month this year. You've equated that or equaled that as well. You know, that's
almost close,
and that's pretty impressive, brother.
Thank you.
Since you don't have 37 years of database to pull from.
Yeah.
So is it mainly folks that come into the stores, or is it mainly people you go to church with? Or how do you get your business?
So this is definitely. This is the good thing about. I have like a mixture of clientele. You know, I'm not just focusing on the Egyptian community. I have a lot of American clients. I have a few, different nationalities. So it's just a mixtures. You know, when they find out that I got my license, and they know that, especially when they find out, they know that I've been flipping houses. So I've been kind of in the field. It just, I was not licensed for,
Right, you were flipping them though.
Yeah. So.
Well, these people trust you for a reason.
Exactly.
And I would even venture to say that you have at least communicated your authority in the real estate world.
Right. Yep.
Built that authority for sure.
Yeah.
So,
what motivates you in doing this?
I mean, honestly, it's all about the client. It's not about me. I look at the client, that smile on their face at the closing table. It just, takes all the work that we put into it. It just takes it away.
It does, doesn't it?
Yep.
The money's good, but there's way more than that.
Yeah, it's not always about the money, though, to be honest with you. It's always about, helping people and, making their dream come true, Seeing that smile on their face, that's what makes the difference.
And you play just a role in that, in their whole journey.
Right. And, I when I start with a client, I don't say, hey, this is not my job. I'm there with them from A to Z.
Wow.
Through the loan process, through the, everything else, even after the closing, So, some of the clients that I have, sometimes they don't, they don't speak English well enough to communicate with others. So, even after closing, I'm still there. When they call me, they need something is wrong with the house, something wrong with their mortgage or whatever. I'm always there.
Yeah, that's one thing, and working with you, how much you go above and beyond. We always talk about going above and beyond, but you really do go above and beyond. Just like you're saying, I think you're a humble guy.
And that's why we're having to pull it out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting there.
Just such a sweetheart,
But really, you do. And I think even sometimes you said you even went and picked up, something for the mail, or I can't remember exactly, but you would actually go to the client, pick things up, or even take them if they needed it.
Yeah.
And that is service beyond the scope of what we consider our duties, if you want to say.
And it's paying off, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely, because people know you care.
Exactly. Yes. I've worked with a lot of clients that they are not a first-time home buyers. And when they see the service that I provide, when they see the difference between this transaction and their previous transaction with another agent, they were like, hey, we never had that kind of service before, never had somebody that cared about us, because it's always, when I'm buying a home for a client, I treat it like it's for myself. If I see something is wrong, I flat out say it. This is not it. Let's go.
I love that, because what a lot of folks don't realize, they're newer to the industry, they're working with buyers, they don't realize that what you don't want to find yourself in later on, if you've done a good job, they're going to call you back in 3 or 5, or I had somebody call me back yesterday. It was 18 years since I sold them that house. But the last thing you want to do is say, gee, I wish we hadn't bought this house because it's right next to these power lines, or it's right next to that busy street, or that steep driveway, or whatever it is. That it didn't appreciate at the level that it should have, because we looked the other way when we should have been being honest with them. I love that fact that you do that, because that's a sign of somebody who's going to be in this business a long time.
Yeah, you have their best interests at heart.
Yeah,
truly do.
Yeah, most of them, when after closing, they just refer me a lot of clients,
and that's the way it should be.
That's how it is.
If you do a good job on the front end, that's how it should be. If you're coming from a place of abundance, I think one thing I love about you, Sam, is you're not trying to make the deal so that you can pay your mortgage.
No.
Okay. You're a service-minded individual who loves what you do and wants to help people. The money comes automatically if you keep those things at the forefront.
That's right.
Not about, hey, I'll pay you this if you'll do business with me, or that kind of stuff. I don't think you're doing any of that kind of stuff.
No.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. It's such a blessing to have you part of the organization.
Yeah.
So
honored to be a part of it, though.
Well, thank you, sir. So you had a mentor to start with. Was it important for you to have a mentor to start with?
Oh yes, and I learned a lot of good things from him.
Yeah.
So he was always there for me when I needed him.
Yeah.
When I have a question, when I'm writing a contract, it was I was a little bit familiar with stuff, as he can tell, but sometimes not 100%.
Until you jump in, there's a lot of things that I bet you're still learning, aren't you?
Yeah, every day. Still learn every day, and I will keep learning. Something new every day. So,
and that's what I like. This. Monty, you hear me always talk about you have to have the hustle. You have to have the hustle, and this is just built into Sam.
Yeah,
it is natural, as you can see. He left home at 18 and bought a business right before he turned 19, right? And he hasn't stopped yet. It's that element that causes success to happen. So, right here, he didn't know anything about real estate, and started in March, and now has 25 homes.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that hustle didn't make that happen. Obviously with learning and being diligent and
he dresses really good.
He dresses the part, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
He always dresses good, looks good. He's dressing for success. There's no doubt about that.
But see, and even going to the point of the hustle being part of you going above and beyond.
Right.
that is hustling.
That's real hustle there.
Yeah.
That's hustle that most of us.
Hustling after you get the commission check.
Until you're no more, you don't have to introduce yourself anymore.
Right.
That's how I always look at it.
You've made it when you just walk in the house. You don't even have to knock anymore.
The house looks at you and it sells itself, kind
Right.
of thing. In Egypt, what stopped you in Egypt from doing this?
As far as what?
Just anything. I mean, why'd you come to the States to do it?
I've always wanted to, to come to America since I was like in middle school and high school,
Right.
to be honest, I've always had, that dream, to come in here and live here.
What about it was appealing, though?
We're back home, we're like a minority, and it was, one of the major things, it was all about the freedom,
Right.
the opportunities that I will have here.
So you saw that as soon as you got here and you embrace it.
Yep.
Do you
And,
look around to those of us who have been born here and go, do you realize what you have here
Yes.
for crying out loud?
Yep.
I mean, what's your take on that?
I mean, honestly, my first time I went back to Egypt after living in the state was like almost 8 years, and back then the country was like a mess during a presidency elections, and it was just I had to come back earlier than what I was supposed to. So the first thing I did, I was like, I'm grateful to be here, to be in the States, and I can thank God enough for this opportunity, I'm grateful.
I'm just trying to get to the point where you're like inside voice laughing at us going, you guys have no idea that the benefits you have over here.
Right.
I'm taking advantage of them all, pal.
Well, and I think that others before you have done the same thing.
Right.
And I'm sure you know George Hanna.
I've heard of him. I've never met him before,
Pyramids Cafe,
Right.
amazing guy. Came to the States with $1,000, barely able to speak the language, and started serving tables and opens up a little Euro spot, and now he owns multiple restaurants around town. And super, you remind me of him in a lot of ways because
I had a $1,200 though. When I really? Yes.
He's super humble like you are as well.
Thank you.
I love George and Gigi, his wife. They're wonderful people, but they came to town with a higher level of appreciation. I mean, Jim, you hit on a really important factor there, and that is, again, what Jason talks about, the hustle. The hustle here is, I think, when they're used to, I kid about all the time, having to walk uphill both ways to school in the snow. Well, they did have it hard. They know what hardships
What hard
are.
is, yes.
You know what hardships are, and what you're experiencing here is not a hardship.
No.
It's a privilege.
I mean, it's a privilege to be here.
Yes, it's work.
But yes.
It's hustle.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep.
Mentally exhausting, I'm
Yep.
sure, at some
If
time.
well,
most
it-
Americans adopted that attitude, we'd be in a much better spot.
Nothing always easy,
Yeah.
So every time we try, it don't matter if we fail, as long as we learn from each and every time that we fail. That way we don't make the same mistake again. So if we learn from each time we fail, I think we'll be good.
Are you
Because-
familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk? Do you listen to his stuff or watch it?
No, I've heard of him, but
Yeah. He's all about don't even put the end goal in mind. Just fall in love with the day to day and the hustle. Just, it's always going to be something, and it's always going
Right.
to be,
Yeah.
this is the grind. Fall in love
grind.
with it.
You
Yeah.
just you don't need to give up. You just keep doing what you're doing.
And you say it's not easy, and I think that's it's something that if it's easy, it's not satisfying.
Exactly. Yes.
And whenever to be an entrepreneur, you got to actually desire
Right.
for it to be a little bit hard.
Yep.
Because if anybody could do it, everybody would.
That's it. Yep.
So is your hope is that you'll get your kids into real estate as well, or owning stores, or what's your hope? I know
Probably real estate. Family back home want them in the medical field, so
okay.
and you know how it is, especially with Middle Eastern, Yeah. But I guess I'll let them decide themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a good dad, I'm sure.
I'm loving real estate. I wish I could have done it earlier, but it's all good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to encourage everybody. Look what can happen with the hustle. With the grind, with the always doing the next right thing, and doing it from the heart of humility and gratitude and
servitude.
I believe that's what you represent, Sam. We appreciate you being on the show today, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And please come back, everybody, and watch some more of the Talk of Music City Real Estate. We're here to have a good time and to bring great value to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.